Good evening, everybody, and welcome. Hope you all had a great Monday. Doing something a little different tonight. This will be the first season I have signed on entirely for commentary, but not for America's Racing League. No, this week we are running commentary for the Can-Am Sim Sport, a.k.a. CASS. They are running a DTM championship, which I am very ignorant on DTM championships. I think it's something regarding German cars, but I think they're pretty much running it all as the M3 GTR. So, should be an interesting race. Obviously, new to these guys. I don't know a lot of them. A few of these guys I will recognize. I believe Dave C. is in here looking at this list. And then there's a couple other guys from CASS that we know from America's Racing League. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and switch us over to the live screen. We'll be live here in just a few moments. But very exciting series ahead of us. I'm looking forward to commentating this. I'm really looking forward to watching the action here. CASS has had they've produced some stellar drivers over at America's Racing League. Those of you that tune into those races, you'll probably recognize drivers like Second Place Merchant, Jeff H., Spiky Cactus has run a couple races with us, and all those guys are rapid, absolutely quick. And those are all guys here from CASS. So, should be a very interesting championship. A lot of talent on the field. Second Place Merchant did jump in, so a couple guys out there I know now. And I'm going to make sure I get my details straight here while they work on getting the session fired up. So the way this is going to work, I believe we have a practice, qualifying, race 1, qualifying, race 2. So I imagine there's going to be a couple intermissions here and there, so just bear with us while I learn how this works. But race 1 will have practice, qualifying 1, and race 1 will be a short sprint race, 20 laps tonight. And the feature race will be preceded by another qualifying session and will be a 40-lap race. So essentially you run a half-distance sprint and then a full-distance feature with qualifying to break the two. So Hockenheim's a really cool track, the short layout, and I don't know that I've ever raced this layout. I definitely not raced these cars. Very interesting to see how this pans out. Welcome to the stream. Soupy from the YouTube side of things says, thanks for broadcasting. I'm missing tonight's race after my trip back from Daytona this weekend. I think that's a valid reason to not be here tonight. I can't fault you for that. So we're going to watch for some drivers to come out of pit lane now. And we'll lead with Obscure Hi-Fi, I believe is how that name is pronounced. I apologize to any of you in this series that are watching this broadcast back. If I fuck up your name, I apologize. Just message me and tell me how to pronounce it. I'll be the first one to bring us a timed lap here as we get into practice. So I'll be honest with all of you. I'm not truthfully very familiar with Hockenheim Ring and more specifically how this series will be scored. So I'll be sure come next round, I'll be sure that I have all of those details set up for you so that you can have a better understanding of what the championship fight's doing. I know how the ARL stuff scored. I know, obviously, how the IndyCar stuff scored as I am running that series. But these guys, they run a little bit differently. And so I'll be sure to get scoring and points totals following tonight's event so that I can keep you guys up to date on the race for the championship. One of the admins in CASS, let me know if you have any questions. I appreciate that, man. And if there's anything you all want me to include in these broadcasts, please feel free to send them my way. I'm happy to do if you guys have sponsors. I'm happy to do sponsor shout-outs or other special events coming up. I usually like to sprinkle those in during intermissions or pace laps or safety car stuff. So if ever it comes up, let me know. Happy to throw it in there. Oh. Can I not do oh, no free cam. Oh, well. All right, so Joe Dirt currently leading the field in free practice, but everybody's still making their rounds in the outlaps here. What a field we've got. 19 drivers so far. Happy to see that. The full field's always a little bit wide on the exit there of the corner. Keeps it planted, though. Still reigning the top speed in free practice. I believe I saw the forecast is dry, folks. No rain in the forecast, so everything should be nice and clear. We're going to follow Tarka across the line to see if he can answer with any sort of speed. Nothing gained for Tarka. Joe Dirt going to continue to shave time off. And second place Merchant yet to post a clean lap. Possibly getting the tires warmed up, getting everything rolling. Joe Dirt still has not been dethroned at the top of the field. Orange Hat's going to give it a shot. Moves up the grid, but not enough. Followed by a few other drivers. Dave C. We know Dave C. He's raced with us over in America's Racing League. Very good driver, very clean, quick. Love to see Dave C. out there racing around. Joe Dirt, though, seems to have this on lock right now in free practice. Now, keeping in mind, free practice doesn't mean anything. No time gained for Crace. Joe Dirt's going to come back across the line with potential for more time gained. No, he will not gain any time. Second place Merchant shoots up the leaderboard of free practice to P5. So, folks, free practice, nothing scored, no points awarded, no benefit. This is really just a short, brief stint of time for drivers to kind of reacquaint themselves with the car, reacquaint themselves with the track. More of a warm-up. So these guys are getting a bit of a shakedown done before we head into qualifying with Merchant. Hard on the power on the exit of the corner there. A little bit of a slide. We kept it planted. And I must say, not much of a BMW fan, folks, I will admit, but these are some good-looking cars. I cannot complain about the sights we've got on the track right now. Quite nice sounds as well. Bummed that I can't use free cam. Oh well, that's okay. Let's see, Dave C will be the next one to come across the line with a spin. I believe that was Dave C that spun. It was Dave C that spun. I don't care for this camera angle being blocked by the leaderboard. I'm going to apologize in advance for that. I will try to direct accordingly if battles come into the final corner here. Joe Dirt still with a pretty good stranglehold on free practice. Warm up, whatever you want to call it, but Nikita is coming. Chiseling the gap down. It was about 0.2 a minute ago, and now we're just sub 1/10. And we can chalk that up to margin of error if he can stay consistent within his last laps and get on the power just a smidge early. That may be faster practice time. No time gained for Nikita. Only drivers I recognize in this field are second place Merchant and Dave C. at the moment. And keep an eye here on your leader. And if we give me just a minute to get my shit together, we'll do a little ride along. You have to bear with me. I am not very familiar with this circuit at all. And even when I am familiar with circuits, truth be told, I only tend to know the important parts of each of the circuits, like where the start-finish line is and where pit entry is. So, let's see. Here we go. Short circuit 1. Okay, so let's see. Where is our current leader, who has actually expanded the gap now by a 10th over Nikita. We're going to ride on board the current warm-up leader. Yeah, I know how to use it. It's actually Control F, but it's not working. I think it's because I am race director and it's in a multiplayer session, I believe. I've not tested it live in multiplayer sessions. I've only used it in replays. So, all good. We'll make do with the trackside cameras as we now cross the line for another lap. This, I believe, is turn 1, Nord Curve, as it would be pronounced. A little bit of an uphill, but nothing much, into a sharp braking zone. Nice flow to the track here, but he's struggling to keep her planted just a bit. So now bend into, I believe this is the Mobile 1 curve. This is a tricky side. Ooh, a little bit of a slide. Dives to the escape road. And looks to be retiring to the box. So we will follow Nikita, who was P2 in practice. Very tricky cars to keep planted right now. So we see Joe Dirt pulled ahead up there, and Nikita going to meet him. Everybody seems to be bowing out of their runs. Merchant, don't let me down. Coming into the Mobile 1 curve now. Very large amount of oversteer on the exit of the Mobile 1 curve. Everybody seems to be struggling with it. Now down into Sachs curve. And I don't know turn numbers. My track map doesn't have turn numbers, so I apologize. I'll try to learn it, and if I don't learn it, I'll improvise it. Through Sud curve and into the final corner. Merchant really getting aggressive on the throttle there. Not finding what it takes in free practice to get ahead of your current practice leader, Joe Dirt. 3 drivers have not made a time. CB, It, and excuse me, Pingu could be handling setup, or they feel confident enough to just jump on into qualifying. So we watch the remainder of practice. I do believe most people are out of the lap. I think that most people have returned to pit. We've got one other driver, and he is boxed. So, we're now going to move into qualifying. I'm not sure how long the qualifying session will run, but I believe it is a full field qualifying, so everybody will be out there trying to set a lap. And we're going to see how this goes. 5 minutes. That is short. It's going to be very interesting. Right on board with Pingu did not place a time in warm-up. We have got private qualifying. Folks, I'm going to do my best to try and navigate the free qualifying. Try to figure out where my rhythm's going to be here. Merchant's close. Start with second place Merchant, I suppose, because I think he'll be the first person that I'm familiar with that will be on a timed lap. Pingu will also be on a timed lap. I guess we'll follow him. He'll be the first one across the line, I believe. Much more planted behind the wheel of that BMW than I've seen other drivers recently. As we ride along and watch Tactical Nuclear Pingu put down his first flying lap here at the DTM Championship Round 1 at Hockenheim. You guys are just joining us. Thank you and welcome. If you're new here from CASS, welcome. So happy to be doing this for all of you guys. I've been doing a little bit more commentary on the side. Problem is I stream other things as well, so trying to find the day of the week to make this fit has not been easy. I don't necessarily want to be demoted to a sim racing streamer only, so Merchant finally wore me down. Found a championship that seemed fitting for broadcast, and here we sit as now I believe this will be the first timed lap, and Pingu crossing the line with a 1.5, and Joe Dirt with a 59.8 as now the times start trickling in. This dude has got the field by the horns. Great drive so far from your current pole sitter with a 59.8. Very interesting to watch as now Tactical Pingu's going to get another opportunity to answer. So he's got probably another 2, maybe 3 laps, but 2 laps is... it's definitely 2 laps left in qualifying. Maybe a little bit more, but it is going to be a challenge. So we watch him cross through Sud Curve and into the final corner down the main straightaway. What does Pingu have for us on his second lap? Can he gain time? He does gain time, but not enough. And Nikita now jumping into P2, looking to answer Joe Dirt's 8.62. Very, very close fight we've got on our hands, folks. Let's not forget, Nikita is pretty close during warm-up. Now, trying to dig for 0.06 of a second, folks. 0.06. Not tenths, hundredths. So it comes around the final corner. What does he have for us across the line? No time gained for Nikita, and now Pingu trying to gain time. No time gained for Pingu. Pingu's dove into pit lane, realizing he probably won't get another lap, but Joe Dirt will have another chance to put down a flyer. Pingu has retired to pit lane. Hi-Fi looking to try his hand, shaving 0.4 off. It's a tall order. Not quite lined up so far to do it. We'll see if he can muster it, as now second place Merchant rounding the same corner and into Sachs Curve. Can he or anybody dethrone the lightning fast Joe Dirt in P1? Can they beat the 59.8? It's a bold time. Nikita's already drove to pit lane. Joe Dirt has had an incident. Obscure Hi-Fi. No time gained for Hi-Fi, and that will be, I believe, the field qualified. Oh, we got one more out there. Though I do believe that that is a mistake. I don't think he'll get another lap. It's an auto director that will help you find the battles. Yeah, I've seen the auto director. I've not used it before. I've developed a talent for finding the battles pretty good. Qualifying gets tricky, though, when you run private qualifying because I can't see the whole map. It's very silly. When I run the broadcasts over at ARL, most of the time their series, they run full field qualifying in the same lobby. So I can kind of see who's about to cross the line and hover right over the racing, the start-finish line, and get an idea of who's about to cross and follow the times. But that is okay. It's neither here nor there. This is where it matters most. This is where the action's at. Race day. I don't need the overview, actually. And I do apologize, folks, for this front stretch being blocked by the leaderboard. It is a little frustrating. Such is life. That is okay. Drivers are now putting the final touches on their setups. I believe we've got a standing start. So we'll be off and away for the 20-lap sprint before leading into our next qualifying session. Excuse me, folks. With all this weather that's rolled through, my allergies are giving me a fit. Can cut the tension with the knife. Happy to do it, Wiki. Very happy to do it. I enjoy doing the commentary. I know there's other games, other sims that handle a commentary session a little bit better than ARL, but we are green and racing, folks. A big dive from second place Merchant, I believe. No, it was Nikita. Leads the field to green here. Everybody's bunched up back behind. These camera angles don't do me any favors, as it looks like, I believe that was Joe Dirt off the track. Your session pole sitter has fallen way down the running order to P7. A lot of ground that's going to need to be gained for Joe Dirt, but he seems to want to work the outside here. Going wheel to wheel, bit of an incident ahead. This looks like WR Case has fallen behind, and Joe Dirt comes out ahead of two cars there, picks up 2 positions, back up to P5. The action is not over yet, though, folks. The fight is raging on. Second place Merchant going to be starting to make a move on Obscure Hi-Fi here, all over the back bumper of that M3 GTR. But let's not forget, we saw it in the warm-ups. We saw it in qualifying. These cars are slidey. They really try to get out from beneath you. Merchant, especially, one of the drivers that seemed to struggle with keeping the car pointed perfectly straight, never seemed to lose it, but definitely had some slides as we now come into turn 2. Just trying to make the moves. You saw a little bit of oversteer there on the attack. Puts himself in position, but doesn't take the opportunity just yet. Really just trying to find an opening, but the gap ahead is continuing to open. He's going to want to make a move here soon. Got quite the fight now, becoming a three-way battle as Joe Dirt back on the tear, trying to regain his position at the front of the field. He knows he's got the pace, but he's trapped behind a battle now. The question is going to be, can he get around? We ride on board with your round one pole sitter, Joe Dirt. Across the line and into turn one, the battle up ahead. It's tight, folks, and we can still see P1. He hasn't driven away yet. Merchant really trying to work all of his moves here, and I think Merchant's going to get it done. We got a beautiful front row seat to that right there. We're going to return trackside as they're side by side. Second place Merchant all over the doors of Hi-Fi. And Joe Dirt trying to bring up the back, but not get collected in an incident here. Little bit of sliding going around for both of these guys. Wide exit from Hi-Fi. Had to lift and let out of the battle. Quick back to the throttle, but I don't think it's going to be enough, as now Joe Dirt is coming behind second place Merchant. Hangs it high around the outside of Obscure Hi-Fi, but not going to have enough to get it done. That second place Merchant, job well done, up into P3, and now chasing Tactical Nuclear Pingu. Nikita is starting to drive away from the field a little bit, opening the gap to a half second down to P2. We've got a bit of a fight going on back here between Sturhaus and Chill Blast. Stur just seems to be hanging back a couple tenths, trying to make a move here. But the fight up here is still tight now. Obscure Hi-Fi going to get overtaken by the pole sitter, Joe Dirt, on the outside, but Joe's boxed in. He's behind second place Merchant. Didn't have any room to run. And now, coming into the Mobil 1 curve, real tight. Side-by-side action here between these two. Joe Dirt trying to recover. Fell down to P7 or 8 on the first lap and just trying to recover everything he can. Rapid in the warm-up, rapid in qualifying, struggling behind the slower traffic. Just can't find an opening here. Doing everything he can. Hi-Fi leads him to the line, but he's got a great run coming into turn one. He's going to peek to the inside, down to the left. Not going to get it done, but Hi-Fi runs wide. Great battle going on here, folks. We're going to ride on board now to see if he can get this fight complete. We've got a yellow flag. Local yellow seems. Incident up ahead. Who has gone off the track? Believe that is the... Oh, we've got a little bit of a wall tap there. It looks like that's Crace back here in the back. P22. He is working it over, trying to find it, not lifting in the corners, keeping his foot buried. Tight, shallow corner entry here, almost getting banged up there. Wide entry into the final corner and down the main straightaway, folks. It's going to be a drag race down the main straight. Can Hi-Fi keep him? He can't. Hi-Fi drops into the slipstream. Joe Dirt back up into P4. And now Hi-Fi starting to face pressure from heel toe. Already, no time to breathe for the driver, who currently sits P5, and Joe Dirt goes off. Big incident from Joe Dirt's perspective. Falls back down to P7. P8, all the time gain has been lost. And now Nikita is starting to open up a very wide gap over P2, 2 seconds, and expanding as we've got another incident down there. Looks to be with it. Just right there trying to get off the racing line and let people by. Chill. Facing a little bit of a defense pressure from Sturhaus, but nothing crazy. Trying to search for the tightest battle here, folks. This one's not too bad. And I said that and it opened up. We've had a retirement. Great racing so far. And we've got a safety car, it seems. The safety car, I presume, is for Crace here. Yeah, missing a wheel. Big incident there. This is where having a replay would be great. Unfortunately, we do not have that luxury, so... I don't know that I've ever seen this safety car. But I love how blunt it is, and then it says, "Follow me!" That cracks me up. That's some funny shit. So, as we are under yellow, for what I presume will be a apparently very short yellow safety car period, we back to green flag as Nikita will bring the field to green. Pingu's really going to be looking to make a move here. But the guy we want to watch, the man of the hour, second place Merchant, that safety car closed a very large gap very quickly, and he will now have the opportunity to try to strike for P2 and do his namesake honor. And pressure he has. Plenty to give. As he's putting the fight down. Hi-Fi chasing heel-toe hero. Trying to gain some spots back after a trickle down the field between second place Merchant and Joe Dirt. Started to fall off just a little bit here. But the race is young. Still 11 laps to go, 12 laps to go. Plenty of racing left in the sprint event. Tight fight going on back here between NZ and Bo. I apologize once again if I butcher your names. Just correct me post-race. Oh, big incident right here. Big incident. Who has fallen? It's Hi-Fi. Hi-Fi has gone around in turn one. Massive incident for driver who's having a great run there early in the race. Is now Bo really trying to work over Chill Blast here and gain the position and crawl back up or up into the top 10. Really doing everything he can to make the number 23 machine work for him. He's going to take an inside line on Chill Blast, and it looks like it's going to stick going into Sud Curve for the final corner. B. Grabo up into P10. Great pass. Let's move on down the field here. Case now trying to work over Tarka here for P13. Great battle going on. Very aggressive on the attacks here. Trying to find an opening into the inside of these corners. Switches out wide, but Tarka washes. Puts on a great defense. Just trying to find a passing opportunity here. Second place Merchant has moved up into P2. I apologize, we missed that pass. A lot of action going on back here in the mid-pack. I will say, though, Merchant... Oh, I apologize. We're going to have to cut ahead. Tarka has gone off. Nikita was our race leader, has fallen down to P3. Merchant moved up to P2 because Nikita had an incident, and now Pingu starting to face pressure from second place Merchant. Can second place Merchant become first place Merchant? Wide exit from Pingu, and Merchant claps back with an outside switchback onto the left lane on turn 2. Not going to make it stick. They're side by side. Down the straight and into 3. Mobile 1 curve. Very treacherous place here at speed, but he gets it done. Pingu gets double passed and now almost triple passed as heel toe tries to have a look but just can't make it stick. The train kept train kept rolling along, and Pingu falls back 2 spots into P3. Second place Merchant. Biggest gain so far in this battle up to P1, but he's now facing pressure from an absolute beast behind him. Nikita on a tear trying to get himself back up into P1. He was rapid in qualifying. only missed the pole by 0.06 of a second, and he's not going to give up just yet. A lot of fight left to give. With 9 laps left, whole lot can happen. Merchant, wide exit on the corner, trying to play defense here against against Nikita. Oh, don't want to hit that button. And now Case trying to work over CB at this point. We're going to keep a somewhat close eye on the fight up ahead. Not much to give there right now. Nikita's starting to lose a little ground up ahead on second place Merchant. Bo now trying to work up kinetic curb and get an attack on the inside here. This guy's really been trying to work his way through the field. Takes a peek on the outside, doesn't seem to make it stick. Just drives into the slipstream here and follows down the front straightaway. You see Cross, he's right behind. Might pop out into turn 1 here, not quite yet. He's waiting for a better opening, and he's going to get it on the exit of turn 1. Side by side, beautiful force in, but he slides, and there's been a bit of a minor incident. He keeps it off the wall, that's good, but he has lost tons of ground as kinetic curb barely avoided losing his front fascia there. Too deep on the brakes, and Bo has fallen back down into P13 after an unfortunate incident. Folks, it's tricky. These cars seem to be very light on their feet, and all it takes is one minor slip-up. 1/10 of an inch too late on the brakes. Too much throttle input, too much steering input, and it'll go around on you. We've seen a couple spins now in turn 1. Seems to be a very tricky spot for these drivers. Is now Nikita all over second place Merchant. Merchant's got to hold him off for 7 more laps. I don't know if he's going to have enough time. Big incident in the back. Big incident in the back. Not sure who that was. That was Pingu. Massive slide. That car is shot. Seemed to have a very big loss of traction, and now Merchant has gone wide and fallen 2 places back. He is now sustained a massive amount of damage. No rear wing on Merchant. Folks, this race is unraveling in the last 6 laps. Massive upset for Merchant here. He had such great pace. Still has a podium position, but the question is, where is he going to come out after boxing for repairs? Is now Nikita finds his way back into P1 for the DTM Championship Round 1. Oh, excuse me, here at Hockenheim. Kinetic curb trying to catch up to Chill Blast here. And do my eyes deceive me? Pingu is continuing to race with an obscene amount of damage. I don't know if that's bravery or a lack of shits to give, but he is sticking it out, trying to salvage something. The pace still seems to be pretty decent. I saw parts flying around, but looking at his car, I wonder if maybe it was braking boards that I saw flying through the air. Very interesting. Interesting choice. But Tarka now facing some pressure from NZ here. Not a massive amount, but enough to keep him on his toes. This battle up front, barring any chaos, will be all but decided. It looks like Joe Dirt retired. Joe Dirt did retire. What an interesting change of events. Must have had another incident during or post safety car, perhaps. Really wish we could get some replays in. As now Dave C starting to put the attack on Sturhaus. Dave C is a very quick driver. Very clean and consistent. I've raced against Dave C. He's a treat to race against. Has some great pace. The fight mid-pack is anything but boring. Lots of close battles. This one seems to have opened up a little bit, but Dave C seems to be very aggressive on those brakes into turn one. Manages to keep that gap still within striking distance, as now Case trying to recover some ground here and work over CB, and just ahead of them, Connecticut. Oh, and CB goes around. Case just narrowly avoids incident again, and will continue down into the Mobile 1 curve and make it out scotch-free up at a P8. Great drive so far as Dave C starting to close the gap here. Seems the final sectors of this track, Dave C's got the pace over Sturhaus. Same with Connecticut. Really seems to be able to gain some ground as now Hi-Fi trying to recover and pass Orange Hat. Can he make it stick, though? That is going to be the question. Obscure Hi-Fi was running great early in the race with an incident that spun him out early in the lap. Takes the high line, gets defended. Nice, tidy exit of the corner, though. Using every square inch of track available to him. Now Tarka, this battle back here is all heated up. Three drivers throw a blanket over him. Watching the middle car in the fight for P13, 14, and 15. These guys are anything but far apart as Tarka with a wide defensive line, CB behind, tries to make the attack just a little late on the brakes, doesn't keep it, keeps it off the wall, keeps everything tidy and clean and respectful. Is now the fight between Bo and Hi-Fi. Oh, and another incident. NZ does go around, and that's going to give Tarka the advantage. Tarka up to P13, CB 14. And now Dave Costa, I'm sorry, not Dave Costa, Dave C might have a run. But a great defense being put up from Haas here. He can't find the opportunity to get around. Costa is making that car super wide. I think he copped some big damage. He very well might have. That seemed like a very big snap. Dave C's got one lap to get it done. Can he make it happen for a spot on the podium of the sprint race? Dave C, one lap, 3/10. The gap is not unattainable. He can do it, but he's got to find the opening. A little bit of a wide exit of the corner. Seemed like the car did not cooperate. On driver exit. Deep in the slipstream. Pingu starting to trickle further down the field. He's now down to P12. Folks, this battle is intense. Very close fight we have here on our hands. But I don't know if Dave C can get it done. He's running out of track. And the fight back behind him between these three is not going anywhere. Dave C will not get it. Connecticut not going to get it. So now we jump back down to Obscure Hi-Fi. This battle here for 10th, 11th, and 12th. I don't think it's going to happen. I think that's how the dominoes will fall in the sprint race. Unofficial results pending. Nikita will be P1 as your race winner right there. Heel Toe Hero, P2, Sturhaus, Dave C, Something Fierce, Chill Blast. That's your top 6. Kinetic Curb, WR Case, loading screen. B Grabo, Obscure Hi-Fi. That rounds out your top 10. Following them, you've got Orange Hat in 11th, Tactical Nuclear Pingoon 12th, CB Tarka, Nate Z. That is up to 15th. Shadow Puck 99, 16th place. Second place Merchant. Terribly unfortunate band of luck for him. Had a great run going there in the beginning of the race. He's P17. Desmo Do, for real, I believe. And Joe Dirt in P20 with a retirement. Don't Fight It retired. Ammon Crace retired. I believe there was one other retirement. So, all in all, not too bad of an attrition rate for round one. Round one. I do believe we are going to have another qualifying round. However, the race will be bumped up to 40 laps. Unsure if we have a intermission. Ninja was the last retirement. Thank you for reading better than I did. Ninja was our final retirement, who I don't see in the lobby. So I wonder if he left. Short break before jumping into Quali 2. Well, if there's a short break, I'm going to take a short break and grab a drink. And we will continue this show here in just a moment. Stay tuned. Hello, everybody. We're back. Welcome, and thank you for joining. If you're just tuning in, this is CASS DTM Championship Round 1, Race 2. We're about to go into qualifying for Race 2 here at Hockenheim. I'm your man behind the mic tonight. You call me Les. Call me Austin. You can call me dumbass, Paul, idiot, stupid, whatever floats your boat. But I am running the mic for these guys tonight here in the broadcast booth. So happy to be here. I'd like to thank everybody at CASS for having me. This has been something merchants really been trying to get me to do for them for a little while. Glad we were finally able to put something together. Race 1 was super exciting. Race 2 showing some real promise. So join us for qualifying. As we load on into the session. Once again, excuse my coughing fits. Still facing a cold. Not really a cold, but, well, you know, allergies, more or less. Dave C., the first driver out of pit box. Let's follow Dave C. At about a minute a lap, folks. Drivers are looking at about 3 to 4 flying laps, depending on how their out laps go. Hopefully better than that. It's Dave C. up into Sachs Curve. And rounding the final corner, down the front straight for his first timed lap, Dave C. will ride on board. For turn 1. Most drivers made it through here without issue, but turn 2 here, this one seemed to trip folks up a little. Saw a lot of oversteer. Not from Dave C. here, though. A bit of a slip up here on his out lap. Tires still don't seem up to temp for Dave C. Had to check up a little bit there. Lift off the gas. Give her a chance to regroup. Around the final corner. Now, folks, at 59.8, that was where we were sitting last round. Dave C. not going to have it. Still plenty of time to put down a faster lap as now Obscure Hi-Fi tops him, but Nikita with a 59.7. The folks, the guy we want to watch is this fella right here. He managed that 58 or that 59.5 or 59.8 in the last race, last quali. Pingu put himself up in P2. So now the times start to trickle in. We're going to watch our round one race 1 pole sitter. And he almost does it again, but still not there with a 1 flat 3. A lot of time to be gained there to match his race 1 pace. Second place Merchant has gone around. Something fierce going through Sachs Curve. Crace will be, I believe this is his first timed lap. And will answer the qualifying stand with no time gained. And now watch Kinetic Curb. Tangled up in some pretty intense fights during the last round, last race. What does he have across the line? Kinetic Curb with a 102 flat. Pretty good time. Merchant up to P2 with a 1 flat 2. Joe Dirt about to cross the line. It's quick. Not quick enough. With a 1 flat, Nikita might get the pole position here. Be absolutely great. Fast on the exit. Joe Dirt slides just a little wide. Trying to make it stick. Shave off as much time as he can, folks. He's got to shave off 2.5 tenths. He's going to be pushing this car to its absolute limit. Right now, the time is not there. Second place Merchant is in pit lane. Joe Dirt slides on the exit. That is all time lost. You can tell he is giving it everything he can to get up there, but I don't think he's going to have it. He's gotten way too aggressive on the throttle this lap. Will there be any time gained? There won't be, but he has one more try. One more stab. Pingu will be the next to try to take the pole position, but he is down time. This will be his last pass. We'll check Obscure Hi-Fi, though, as I believe he is our closest driver to the line here. Little bit of time gained for Hi-Fi, but not a lot. Joe Dirt has retired to the pit lane. Pingu just crossed the line. I don't know if there was any time gained there. I think Hi-Fi will be boxing. Excuse me. Chill Blast. Boxes. That is everybody in the box. Folks, we are off into the race. Very interesting qualifying here. We've flipped the first row. Nikita will start P1, Joe Dirt P2, second place Merchant Pingu, Dave Z, Obscure Hi-Fi. That will be your first 3 rows into P6. Beat Grabo, P7, Nate Z, Hilto Hero, WC Race, Chill Blast, and Sturhas. That brings you through your 6th row, P12. Kinetic Curb, Something Fierce, Orange Hat, CB, Don't Fight It, and Shadow Puck. That brings you through row 9 up to 18th place. And Desmodu, Ammon Crace, Tarka, and For Real will bring you down to P22. Pretty interesting fight we're going to have on our hands, folks. Merchant going to be looking to recover from a tumultuous final few laps of race 1. Still has a chance in the 40-lap feature. That's right, folks. Race 1 was a half stint sprint race. Race 2 is a 40-lap feature. So buckle in, get your popcorn. We're about to have a race on our hands, and I think it's going to be a good one. I'm not sure what's going on, what we're waiting on. Am I the problem? Not sure what has transpired here, folks. I think we might be battling a glitch in the Matrix. Good old AMS2. AMS2 things indeed. Somebody voted to kick Pingu. Scroll down the list for somebody with a Brazilian or British flag. Ammon Crace. Shadow Puck. CB. But all their connections seem pretty good. Pingu's the host. Should be him. Is it me? Am I the problem? MS2 will randomly assign a wrong flag. Yeah, I'm familiar with that one. Eamon Crace may be dropping out. Is that what we waiting on? Welcome to tonight's edition of Troubleshooting Automobilista 2. In tonight's episode, why won't the session advance? Your answer after the break. Well, I'd like to take this brief opportunity, however brief it may be. Thank everybody at Can-Am SimSport, otherwise known as CASS, for giving me the opportunity to broadcast for them. Been a lot of fun so far. The racing was great. CASS is home to, in my opinion, one of the best AMS2 communities out there. They've produced a lot of great drivers. I've gotten to race against a few of them. Second place Merchant, Jeff H., Dave C. have raced against all those guys in both IMSA and Formula USA over at America's Racing League. I've also raced against Spiky Cactus last week, actually, at Gateway in the Formula USA Series. But most of my experience with Spiky Cactus is watching him in the Porsche Cup Series, the first 2 or 3 races. Dude was quick, let me tell you. These guys have a great group of people. Seem to have a nice, dense field of drivers. Love to see those. Oh, they're going to reboot the lobby. Okay. Appreciate that heads up, Wiki. And to protect their password. Oh, fuck. Shoot. I gotta go to the streaming PC. One moment. Bear with me. We're not actually AFK. We're just hiding the password. So that you ne'er-do-wells can't get in here. Whoever you may be. Crazy Canuck. You're not racing tonight, though, right? I didn't, completely miss you. I would assume not, because you were messaging in the chat during one of the races or the qualifying, and I'd be truthfully a little scared if if you were. Appreciate the layer of password defense. It's a miracle. When I'm broadcasting, I can remember to do it a little bit easier. When I'm racing, I always forget. Frequency domain mathematics. You know what, Wiki? You enjoy that. And I will not. I will leave that job to people like you that enjoy doing it or are good at it, whichever you would like to be referred to as. Wish I was racing. I get the feeling, bro. I know it. I'll be racing tomorrow. Looking forward to it. It's easy for me to host the broadcast for this series, though, because this is probably going to get me hung at the stake or burned at the stake, but not as interested in the retro sports cars in terms of driving them. Not as... doesn't excite me as much. Probably because I haven't driven them very much. I imagine if I drove them, I'd probably change my tune. But, well, folks, it's been a great run. I have a feeling I've just been fired, so hope you enjoyed the broadcasts while they lasted. But I have offended the audience, I'm sure, and now my time has come to an end. No, I just... I like the modern GT3s a lot. Yep, I got in. Thank you. Check DMs. Oh, yeah, good old streamer mode. It disabled my it disables my DM sounds. I'm familiar with the AMS2 things. It's not my first rodeo. We deal with it every week. All right. But yeah, I really do. I enjoy the modern GT3s a lot. They're a lot of fun to drive. I've tinkered a little bit with the LMP2. And I don't know. Haven't given these an honest shot, though. I probably will eventually. We'll see what ARL has in the pipeline. And if they run it, maybe I will. Maybe I can have my arm twisted. Okay, so the field has certainly, is this qualifying? I guess it's qualifying. We're re-qualifying. Hippity-doo-dah. I know that's not the saying, but some of these guys are probably very happy about the re-qualifying. Specifically, this guy right here. And let's not forget, well, he's not on the track yet, but this guy, Joe Dirt, was really pushing to try to get every 10th of a second out of that car as he could. Hope you guys are enjoying tonight's show. I know I am. As we will take a ride with Nikita for what I believe is his first flying lap. Remember, he was our pole sitter before the session reset. Thanks to good old Automobilista 2, he has to do it again. Let's see what he's got in store for us here. Going through Sachs Curve and down into Sud Curve. And around the final corner. What does your race winner have for qualifying 2? A 59.7. Folks, that is sub 59.8, sub 1 second, and that is going to be a huge number to beat. And the driver we're looking at trying to beat it is Joe Dirt. Doesn't have it on his first lap. The 1 flat 1, Dave C. crossing the line with a 1 flat 6, and second place Merchant now up to P3. Pingu had a great qualifying effort in the last qualifying round. This might have been an out lap for him. Nikita said, you know what, folks, I'm done. I got my fast time. I am boxing. It's now Tarka around for the final corner. Embroiled in some great fights at the last race, during the last race. And he's going to be right there in P9, currently qualifying into the top 10. Joe Dirt. Can he do pole position race after race, back to back, on the same night? He gained time, but not enough. He's still sitting in a 1 flat. He has to gain 3/10. Once again, he is pushing that car as hard as it will go. And now Pingu trying to answer into the top 5. No time gained for Pingu, running out of laps. This will likely be his last qualifying attempt. And Tarka has boxed. Kinetic Curb has not boxed. I apologize. Nikita still with a 59.7. Where is... Oh, Joe Dirt right here. Duh. 2/10 down. Coming across the line. Can he gain time? He can. Continues to chisel it away. 1.5 tenths left. Heel toe hero currently up. Can he climb the ladder any further? Is now Pingu fixing to cross the line. Believe there might have been an incident on this lap because I think he should have been further ahead. No incident. Flies across the line and into the top 5 with a 1 flat 2. Great lap. And I believe Eamon Crace is the last driver on the grid. He will qualify. No idea. Nikita will be your pole sitter. Joe Dirt in P2. Second place Merchant. Pingu. Hi-Fi and Heel Toe. That will round out your top 6. Bo, Dave C, CB, and Chill Blast. That will bring your first 5 rows down to top 10. Following them, you've got WC Race, Kinetic Curb, Something Fierce, NZ, Orange Hat, and Tarka. That brings you to your first 8 rows in P16. Sturhast is Modu. D-It. I don't remember what that stood for. And Ammon Crace. That is P20, your first 10 rows. And your final row will be Rigatoni and Shadowpuck 99 in P21 and 22, respectively. Folks, we have got quite an exciting race for you this evening. Drivers getting ready, breathing heavy, getting setups all sorted out. Folks, I want to remind you, second place Merchant had a huge lunge on the opening laps of race 1. Pingu and second place Merchant, both rapid. Don't fight it. That's probably it. Both of these drivers rapid in race 1, had some great battles going, and they both fell apart within, I don't even know, 10 seconds of each other. So both drivers looking to rectify their first race results and get back to the front. As now the red lights are on and we've got the green. Great launch from your race leaders, but a really great launch from I believe that was Bo. Up into P5, going wheel to wheel with Pingu. Second place Merchant gets around Joe Dirt. Joe Dirt, couple incidents there. And now Pingu and Bo really fighting it out. Bo starting to fall back down the grid a little bit. Everybody getting all sorts of shuffled around here in these opening few corners, as everybody tries to find their footing. Very exciting stuff going on here, folks. And Nikita has just already driven away from everybody. 0.6 to 0.7 of a second to the good over the cars behind. And the race leaders are still packed up pretty close. Dave C. trying to put himself into an attack position on CB. Can he make something happen here? It looks like we might have a little bit of some slowdown back in the back. Tarka has gotten around Rigatoni. I'm wondering if Tarka had an incident, because I believe he qualified faster than where he's sitting right now. As the race for P2 between second place Merchant and Joe Dirt starting to heat up. Second place Merchant with a strong performance on the opening lap. Jumped up into second place, as the name would imply. And he is now having to face defense from the round 1 pole sitter and the driver that took the second step on the qualifying stand. Left the door open and gets run wide. Shoulders out from Joe Dirt, but not enough to shake second place Merchant, as now we fire it down into the Mobile 1 curve. And as we approach the Mobile 1 curve, it's still second place Merchant. Joe Dirt starting to struggle to put on the attack, but he's right back and ready. Can he wear him down? Can he persist? Second place Merchant's no stranger to pressure. He lives under pressure, folks. And he's putting on a great defense, as it looks like Shadow Puck has gone way off into the sand, creating a local yellow in turn 2. And the battle for second is not over. Joe Dirt popping out, trying to find an opening, trying to make an opportunity happen, as Rigatoni continues to fall down the grid. Merchant with a nice shallow exit on the corner, really protecting that inside line, and we've got another off. Somebody has sustained some serious damage. Shadow Puck sustaining some very big damage and trying to limit back to pit lane, is now Joe Dirt on the inside of second place Merchant. Merchant with a wide exit. down into Sack's curve, but he gets him trapped on the outside, not where he wants to be, and Merchant continues to hold the position as Joe Dirt has to bow out of the high line and stay in the slipstream, but we're going to have an attack coming down the front straightaway here. Think he's going to get him. We've drag racing down the front straightaway. Door to door into turn one. Who's going to be braver on the brakes? Merchant later on the brakes and closes the door. Folks, the battle is checking drivers up all over behind them. Pingu, Heel Toe, Bo, all these guys are now getting roped into this battle, and Nikita is driving away from the rest of them. 3 seconds to the good, almost 4. As second place Merchant continues to face the pressure. Folks, this is lap 5. He has to sustain this kind of battle unless Joe Dirt makes a mistake, but it's just not happening. And Merchant goes off. He goes wide and into the gravel. Joe Dirt gets around. The pressure was too much for second place Merchant, who's now fallen down to P7 and has to charge his way through a whole heck of a lot of traffic to get back up. And now Heel Toe and Tactical Pingu spin. Both drivers seem to keep it off of the walls, but they're back there chit-chatting with each other through the wall. Oh, I apologize. It looks like Heel Toe may have clipped the wall. And now Nikita continues to dominate the field. Obscure Hi-Fi back up into P4, hoping to recover from an unfortunate round 1, race 1, and put himself potentially on the podium, as all the fighting up ahead has really opened the door for him to claim a podium spot. Heel Toe Hero has stayed out, potentially not sustaining too much damage, but he is missing a rear wing. It's going to make traversing this track very difficult. Pingu seems to be relatively intact. No issue there. It's Obscure Hi-Fi. We're trying to find a way to attack. But just not getting much of an opportunity. Second place Merchant, though. He's charging. Trying to recover. Back to the podium. P20 has had an off. See him right here. It's now second place Merchant. Really trying to work the gap here. And Z, I believe that's Nate. I can't remember the last name, but he is taking a lot of pressure. The car behind here. Rigatoni off the track again. Local yellow in Sud Curve. The pressure is on. As Something Fierce really trying to make a strike. And Z goes wide, and he gets it done. Something Fierce up into P8. NZ kicking himself right now, I'm sure, fuming behind the visor. An unfortunate mistake, costing him a position, but he's not giving up the spot yet. We're going to jump back up ahead to second place Merchant in the battle for the podium spot, really. You can almost throw a blanket across P3 through 6. All these guys racing very close together. Hi-Fi defending from Merchant, who is rapid. And Dave C trying to strike as well. We're right on board with second place Merchant. And see if we can witness an attack. Trying to force a mistake on the cars ahead. Merchant, a very good offensive and defensive driver. Capable of putting a significant amount of pressure down. But can he put enough down to force the hand of the driver ahead? So we have another local yellow. Slow car seems to be Orange Hat. You can just gather that Merchant is trying to play it safe here. Find a clean and tidy opportunity to get around. He has the pace. We know that much. But he's just trying to find the window. As he's going to shoot around to the high lane here on the outside and switch it back to the inside. Little bit of a bumper rub there. Has to check up. That is a car for position that just fell behind Merchant. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I got that mixed up. That was a lapped car. It's not on the lead lap. This Merchant now down the front straightaway. Really trying to make something stick. But he just can't make it happen. And Joe Dirt has closed the gap down to 2.7 seconds, folks. He's on a tear. And he's still got plenty of racing to go to catch up to Nikita. If he can keep his race clean, we might have a battle for the lead on our hands, and that will shake up the field entirely. Second place Merchant, nice smooth exit on the corner. 0.6 to the car ahead. As we continue to watch this fight unfold, Nikita now will be running into slow traffic. Trying to get around them while also defending position, because the gap continues to close. And he will be held up by the slower cars. They may be shown the blue, but he still has to get around. And this is opening the door for Joe Dirt to close the gap down to 1.4 seconds. The fight's starting to heat up. And further back, Pingu trying to make an attack on on NZ. Nice switch back from Pingu, but not enough. Too early on the brakes. Maybe not enough of a gap closed as they come down and into Sud Curve onto the front straightaway following this final corner. What does he have for the front straightaway? You can see pops to the outside in the right lane, late on the brakes into turn one. Opening his arms and racing with his elbows. Pingu finds his way back up into P8 after an early lap 3 incident. Clean pass from Pingu. Jump further back. Tarka facing a lot of pressure. Don't fight it. Tarka with a little bit of a wide and a slide. Don't fight it, just waiting to pounce. Wide exit from Don't Fight It, and again, wide exit for Tarka, and again, Don't Fight It with a clean exit on the corner. really hoping to capitalize on these mistakes. The pressure is real for the driver ahead. Don't fight it, locks up the front right and spins. Very aggressive on the brake, right in the middle of the track. He does reset and get underway and spins again and causes an incident. Desmudo. Both drivers. Big incident. Very unfortunate for Desmudo, who got collected in a battle he was not a part of and is still sitting back there and has retired to the box. Nikita continues to control the race with authority. Bo maintains P3 over Hi-Fi, and Merchant still not having an opportunity to get around the car ahead, but he really is trying, folks. He just seems to be trapped. He can't find the right opening. Tries to get around on the outside. Car 21, that's Shadow Puck, and P21 goes wide and into the grass. He is on the slipstream. He's got a great run coming out of the final corner. Can he get it done into turn one? Merchant, very confident on the brakes into one. Didn't feel like he had it there. You can feel the tension. The pressure is so high on the car ahead. And Merchant now tucks it to the inside of the corner. Doesn't get sufficiently alongside, so he's gonna continue. The battle rages on for P4 between Obscure Hi-Fi and second place Merchant. What a fight we are watching, folks. Merchant on a comeback tour from race one, just trying to recover. And recover he will. You jump back into the cockpit for the front straightaway with a big slide, but a save. That's going to be costly on the time, but it was much safer than going around. You gather the car ahead is starting to feel the pressure. Earlier on the brakes than Merchant. Merchant really, really trying to work this position over. He is not letting up. Hi-Fi cannot deny the presence behind him. Merchant just hoping that Obscure Hi-Fi cracks under the pressure as he did just a handful of laps ago when trying to defend Joe Dirt. The gap between P1 and P2 has settled right around 1.5 seconds to 2 seconds. And Merchant trying to find an opening. Slow traffic ahead. This is not what Obscure Hi-Fi wants to see. This is not what Bo wants to see. The fight now between these two. As Bo gets through Obscure Hi-Fi on the inside. The traffic made it a lot easier for those drivers to get through than it could have. Is now Pingu chasing down Case for position. This would be P7. Can the man get it done before the lap is up? Fast on the approach to Sachs Corner. Pingu really trying to do what he can to put the pressure on. Not quite there yet. The fight up here might be raging on, though. Merchant Aggressive on the exit of 1, fires it to the inside. And finally, he gets around Obscure Hi-Fi for P4. And now Pingu looking to capitalize on any time he can gain. Really using the slipstream to his advantage, not letting up, not letting the gap expand too far. Beautiful driving from both drivers. Great defense from Crace. And Pingu with a great offensive drive right now. Really putting the pressure down. The gap has closed between P1 and P2 just a little. We're now hovering between 1.2 and 1.5 seconds, give or take. Pingu really trying to work him over and find the position. He just might get it. He switches back, doesn't have it. Dives back into the slipstream. He's waiting. You know the first chance he gets, that car's attitude says, I'm taking it. Surprising that he did not attempt to put himself on the inside of the corner there. He is waiting. Very patient. An incredible display of skill as we now come down the front straightaway, right on board with Pingu. Wide on the exit of 1, but deep on the brakes into 2. Really on the attack. Pops to the left, checks up on the brakes just a little bit because the defense from Crace keeps him pinned. He's doing a great job so far. On the outside, gets the defense in front of him though. Crace really doing a great job of holding him back. But is it going to be enough? Can he continue this? It is a constant barrage of attacks and a big slip up. That is going to be Obscure. I'm sorry. That's Crace has gone around and continues to lose control of the car. Big upset there. The pressure finally got to him as Haas having trouble getting the car righted back in the background here. Nikita continues to lead the field. Joe Dirt closing the gap slightly and slowly. Not giving up just yet, down to 1.2 seconds. Bo has continued to open his gap in P3. Excuse me. Obscure Hi-Fi still sitting in the top 5. Second place Merchant, after an unfortunate early race incident, managed to get around Hi-Fi and slowly opening the gap, but not at an incredible rate, I would like to add. Something fierce. Some pressure from, I believe, a lapped car behind. Possibly Orange Hat. Nope. Had another retirement. That is Don't Fight It. Joe Dirt charging for P1. Folks, if you are just tuning in, be it on Twitch or on YouTube, thank you for joining tonight's broadcast. Welcome. If you're new here, hope you're enjoying yourself. This is CASS, a.k.a. Can-Am Sim Sport. This is their DTM Championship Round 1, Race 2 at Hockenheim. You're witnessing a chase for the first place position, the top step on the podium, the gold medal, and the biggest bottle of champagne. Joe Dirt really working some magic here to shave this gap down. What was north of 3.5 seconds has now been trimmed back to 0.8, and there is still 16 laps of racing left. What a better place to spend your Monday night. There's no better place to spend your Monday night, I mean. Hope wherever you're watching, you're enjoying the battle, because we have a hell of a battle right now. As the gap continues to shrink between P1 and P2, heavy implications for the rest of the field here. Do either of these drivers crack under pressure? Does Nikita scramble to try to defend and have a poor entry or exit on a corner and slip? Does Joe Dirt get too aggressive on the attack and lock a brake and slide? These cars, we've seen it countless times in tonight's events, both in the sprint and so far in the feature. Not hard to upset the balance of these cars. Not hard to have an issue. Hi-Fi starting to put an attack on second place Merchant. Merchant starting to fall off the pace just a little bit. But he's great at playing defense. He can make the car very wide if he needs to. Now Nikita being held up in lap traffic. And Joe Dirt, this is the smallest this gap has been all night, folks. We're hovering at less than half a second, and it's shrinking 0.2. 2.1, just under 0.2. He is in striking distance now, folks. Nikita has got a fight on his hands. He can't just cruise around the race for the rest of the night. Now he has to face pressure from the driver in P2. I'm being informed that the tires fall off rapidly in the cars. We might see pitting soon. And the safety car is out for, I believe, a driver that is no longer on the grid. It's probably whoever was in P20 or 19. They've retired to the box. So we will have a safety car. And who does this help, everybody? Well, it helps your top 5 drivers. But most importantly, it helps Joe Dirt. Though I'm upset this battle is going to be decided by a safety car, I would like to give a massive props to Joe Dirt for an incredible, incredible drive, closing a 3.5 second gap down to, before the safety car came out, 0.4. That is a drive worth appreciating. And if it is true that these tires fall off aggressively, I imagine we will see pit cycles. Now the question is, can we see some shifting in the positions on pits? I imagine pit lane will be open this lap. Unless, like race 1, the safety car goes in on like the first lap, which would be absolutely fast. But stranger things have happened. So we check your safety car here. He's wide, but he does go back into pit lane, and Nikita will control the start. The green flags are waving. We are back underway. Joe Dirt right back again at the 4/10ths mark, like he hasn't missed a beat. Hi-Fi getting shuffled back a couple positions. Merchant getting shuffled back a couple positions and now having to defend from Pingu. We've had a big off there. Somebody has gone wide. I don't know who it is. It seems to be... not sure. Sturhaus. Potentially it is Sturhaus. And the safety car is, I believe, coming back out. Maybe? Maybe not. Maybe not. Bo has gotten around for P1. I'm sorry, there was so much happening. Nikita and Joe Dirt shuffled back to P5. I apologize for missing that, folks. I was trying to see what had transpired in turn 2. And now second place Merchant with a real shot at taking a podium spot, another podium spot, wanting that second step on the podium. Pingu not letting up the pressure either, though. Watch, these tires only drop to 80% after 40 minutes. Online does weird stuff to track progression. Green tracks rubber up faster. It'd be very interesting to see for sure. Something fierce. Embroiled in an intense fight. And Obscure Hi-Fi up ahead in P2, finding himself in a very uncomfortably familiar position, trying to defend second place Merchant. He did a great job earlier in the race. Can he repeat it? Is Nikita and Joe Dirt, P5 and P6, will look to gain some ground back. Hi-Fi doing a great job holding off second place Merchant. And a great battle going on back here for P7. Something Fierce trying to claim the spot, putting on a lot of pressure. Wide exit there for a blue flag driver. Pingu's gotten around Merchant for position. I was watching that gap and I noticed that it shuffled around. Merchant now fallen off the podium and will soon be defending from the pole sitter, the driver that's controlled this race from the drop of the green and had an incident on the restart. Nikita trailing behind by a few seconds. And Z still facing a bunch of pressure from Something Fierce to come across the line. Really trying to put up a great defense. Great fight we've got on our hands today, folks. Merchant about a second away from Pingu. And NZ facing the pressure from something fierce. Lap traffic ahead, slowing him down and opening the opportunities up. The blue flag cars doing a great job of getting down to the bottom and out of the way. But not out of the way enough, as he's going to be behind them again, and we have another safety car. I'm unsure who that one was. Once again, my grid stops at 17, so somebody retired. It must be one of these guys here. This is great for Joe Dirt and Nikita, who had the restart 1-2. And will now be looking to try and reclaim a spot on the podium. Two safety car periods in this feature event. 3 safety cars altogether for round 1 thus far. And I must admit, they have been short safety cars for certain. As he now rounds the final 2 corners and back into pit lane. Bo will control the start for us this time of by. Leading the field to green. What happens behind? We will continue to ask. Merchant wants to strike back at Pingu. Nikita wants to take the opportunity of the field being stacked up to try to regain some ground. Joe Dirt did get around, but he gets run wide, self-inflicted, and gets back down to P6. The drivers at the front of the field surprisingly calm and collected. Not a lot of shuffling around. Merchant, with 5 laps remaining of racing, will be looking to try to reclaim P3 from Pingu. But he's got a lot of work to do, and Nikita breathing down his neck. The fight at the front is fierce, and it will continue to be fierce. As we round the line, 4 laps remaining in tonight's feature event. What a fight we've got on our hands. Nikita now all over second place Merchant, who has to play defense and offense and try to get around Pingu while also holding off Nikita. His efforts to pounce have been dashed temporarily. He can't find the pace because he has to defend from the faster car. This fight here in the top 10 is close. Look at the map. They are all collectively in one glob of numbers on the mini-map, folks. And it's not thinning out. Merchant trying to attack, trying to defend, trying to recover. Bo with a great clean race right now. All he has to do is hang on for 3 more laps and keep Obscure Hi-Fi behind, drive his race, and he'll come away with a victory, with a top step on the podium. Be a great way to end tonight's feature event. Pingu opening the gap over second place Merchant, and Nikita really trying to strike, and we've had Joe Dirt must have had an incident, falling back to the edge of the top 10 and hoping to maintain the top 10. What a tumultuous race for this fella right here. Qualified pole in race 1, ended up with a retirement. Qualified P2, almost took P1, had an incident late in the race, fell back to P6, had another incident, and is down to P10. It is gut-wrenching as Nikita now in really close striking distance to second place Merchant, who runs wide on the exit of that corner, and now is door-to-door with Nikita, gets run super aggressively to the outside, but he's not giving up, maintains the inside line. Nikita is forced to go wide and spins. Second place Merchant with a beautiful offensive drive, no contact between the two, and Nikita now stuck in the gravel trap, down into P8 with just 2 laps left. 1 lap left, I apologize. There's 1 lap of racing left for Nikita, and now Pingu in striking distance of Obscure Hi-Fi. Can he make something stick in this final lap of tonight's feature event? It is going to come down to the line for these two. What a drive we've got going for us right now for P2. Pingu trying to take the spot, but he just can't find the opening. Obscure Hi-Fi had so much time early in the race to practice his defense over second place Merchant, and he's getting to put it to the test now. Pingu's struggling to find the opening. Hi-Fi with just 2 corners left. Can he hold him off? Obscure Hi-Fi will take P2, and Tactical Nuclear Pingu will take P3 in the DTM Championship Round 1, Race 2 here at Hockenheim. Dave C crossing the line. That closes out P6. And the last of the lead lap cars is Kinetic Curb in P11. What an incredible race, folks. Absolutely incredible stuff. And if that's any indicator for the championship, I think we're in for a treat this season. What a fantastic race that was. Great drive from all the drivers. And big round of applause for Bo doing donuts in the Mobile One curve. Massive congratulations to everybody tonight for a very entertaining race. We'll go through the results here in just a moment. And your results are as followed. Bo in P1, Obscure Hi-Fi P2, great recovery from race 1. Pingu P3, Merchant P4, Something Fierce P5, that's your top 5. Dave C, Crace, Nikita, and Nate Z. Joe Dirt, that's your top 10. Kinetic Curb, Heel Toe Hero, Tarka, Chill Blast, and Sturhaus brings you to P15. Shadow Puck, P16. Orange Hat, 17th. CB, 18th. Don't Fight It. Ammon Crace, Desmodu, Ninja Rigatoni. That brings you to 22. P22. Great job from all the drivers on the field tonight. Massive, massive congratulations to the race winners and the podium finishers in both races, both the sprint race and the feature event. And massive thank you to everybody at CASS for giving me the opportunity to broadcast for you all and run the commentary booth. Hopefully, it was everything you hoped it would be. I know I missed a couple battles there, and I do apologize for that. It's kind of hard to keep up with so much going on. But I had a blast anyways. And I cannot wait to do it again next Monday. Let me see what the details are for next Monday. Monday, we're at Cascades Alternate for round 2. One Demon says, thanks for the broadcast. Thanks for the attendance. I'm so glad you were here. I'm hoping you enjoyed it. Again, thank you so much to everybody at CASS. Really, I do very much appreciate the opportunity to do commentary for you all. I've very much enjoyed it, and I hope that you all enjoyed it too. It was a great race tonight, and I cannot wait for the next one. As far as the CASS-related stuff is concerned, that's about it. I'm just going to do my normal plugs and outros. I will be back tomorrow night with a different AMS2 Racing League. We'll be back with Formula USA in America's Racing League. We are doing the SimGrid Grand Prix of Long Beach. It's a 58-lap showdown in the Formula USA 2023 machine, so that should be a blast. Long Beach is a great track, one of my favorite, if not my favorite street circuit. Wednesday, we'll probably be back in the simulator, though I don't know for certain yet. We could be in the Stock USA Gen 3, so just stay tuned for that, and we'll see where we land there. And Thursday, I'll be off. Friday, we'll be back with Sea of Thieves. So, yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed tonight's show. I had an absolute blast. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me tonight. Take care, and I will see you guys in the next one. Good night, everybody.